channel. This is Intuitive Edge. So it's time to look at our month ahead for June 2020. What are the energies in store? What's going to be happening? So I'm going to shuffle up the cards and we'll get started. I'll be right back. Okay, so the first card out is in the position of the political. What's going to be going on in politics? Now, we had the Star card come out. Now, if I remember right, the Star card came out on the political in May as well, if I remember that correctly. So that's interesting. We've got that Star energy again. Now, the key word is hope. So this is something very hopeful. I think if I remember right from May, there was something about like the calm after the storm, I think was that Star card in that other deck that I used on that reading. And this time we have the Hope card again. I think more is going to be revealed in the area of politics. I'm drawn to that bright star shining in this picture here. And it feels as though there is information or light being shed, something coming to light in the political arena. So something, and you know, with this picture again, with this mermaid being in the depths of the sea and reaching up toward that light, feels like things that have been in the depths, that have been covered or hidden in the dark depths of the deep, are coming to the surface. They're coming up to the light. So that is a reason to have hope. That's pretty powerful and exciting. Okay. Next is society in the public, the general public. Now we've got a kind of a difficult card on this. The keyword there is restriction. This is the 8 of Swords. And yeah, that's a difficult card. So I'm wondering if society is either going to feel a sense of restriction or being held back. There may be a crackdown, perhaps with some of the riots that we're seeing. But in general, that feeling of I am in like a makeshift prison and things are feeling very restricted. Now that's a different energy as opposed to what we had with May, when things were kind of starting to open up and there was some nice feel and nice energy. This brings an element of kind of backtracking a little bit into some sort of feeling of being confined or restricted. Next, we have the area of the financial, the economic. Now we're back to more of a positive card on this. We have the three of Wands. Now this is motivation. That's a nice keyword to have, motivation. I think things might be looking up a little bit more with the economy, in the financial markets. Things are starting to kind of come back a little bit from where we've been. May was kind of restarting the engines month, and I think some of that's going to continue in the financial markets. So that's a nice feeling, even though we have that restriction on the society part, the public, there's still movement in the economy toward a more positive direction. So that's a good thing. So the next position is in the hidden. What is behind the scenes that we don't know or don't see out front? Now I have the card, this is the 7 of Wands. And this is the card of getting the upper hand over a difficult situation. And the key word of it is endurance. And I hear the word in it for the long haul. So something about getting the upper hand over a situation that's kind of behind the scenes. I don't know that we'll see that, but underneath is getting the upper hand over something. And it's like it's been like a slow process, and it feels like a culmination of things that have been worked on for a very long time, and it's finally it feels like we're finally in a place of reaching like a pinnacle or a better position, like finally arriving at a better place. But it has to do with getting the upper hand over a tricky situation. It's been a long time coming, and I'm not sure exactly what that's referring to, but perhaps that'll become more clear as the month goes on. This next position is the truth. What's the truth coming out this month? Now, interesting card on this. We have a Knight of Pentacles. This is the keyword, loyalty. Now, as I sat with this and looked at the energy, I'm focused on this merman sitting on this turtle and holding that coin and the light coming down. And that keyword, loyalty. So what I sense with that is the image of something moving, again, back to this, what I saw with this card, back to this momentarily. Bringing something from the depths that's been hidden up into the light. I got the same sense with this, but the sea creature, this turtle, kind of moving sideways through the depths. I felt kind of like in the deep, that there, I get the sense of somebody or some people that there are a group of people who are very loyal, perhaps to the president, but moving in the depths of this deep that are helping to bring things up to the light and up to the open and getting things exposed. But it feels like they're really like several layers down, and it feels like they're helping prop certain people up in the right positions and then moving them strategically into the right position. I'm hoping this makes sense, and bear with me as I talk this out. Sometimes I have to talk it out and then it like comes together, but sometimes I have to like talk it out, so bear with me. Again, I'm really focused on something about people being moved behind the scenes, kind of, but this is in the truth of it, that there are people in strategic places that are being strategically moved, and they like there's a deep loyalty, okay? And I feel like there's, in the depths of this deep, perhaps, you know, we talk about the metaphor of the swamp, right? And it feels like there's people that are part of the good guys, I guess, in the swamp, I guess, because it feels like they're being moved. Okay, so maybe that's just somebody being moved strategically that is very loyal. Okay, not sure exactly, but there's a lot of energy on it, and I was just trying to like talk it out. Okay, all right. All right, the challenge. Now, this is interesting. We've got the Crossroads card, the Two of Swords. This can be a card, it's crossroads, but it can also be a card of if you stay too long at the crossroads, it can be like not making a decision or being in denial about what the right choice is to take. And this is the challenge, is getting past some of the roadblocks that, and you know what, it's tying back into that Knight. Oh, I'm gonna have to sit with this for a moment. Okay, so this Knight that I just showed you, he is looking directly back at this card, this Crossroads card, and that shark is looking directly back to the Knight. They're facing each other in this reading. Now, the sense I get with that is that we're coming to a place of transition, like a pinnacle, where there's going to be a culmination of everything that's been happening behind the scenes, with that energy of things coming up and coming to light. And it feels like we're going to know very, very soon, perhaps this month of June, we're going to know who the loyal ones are. And it's like everything's coming to a head. everything's coming to a head. People are being moved in certain positions. They're being moved around, and it's going to culminate with being able to see who's loyal to the truth and who is loyal to the corruption, the swamp, whatever. I feel like there's a culmination happening. I think that's what this crossroads is coming to. And that's going to be the challenge, is getting to that point. But I also think that it's inevitable, that there's going to come that point where the truth just is out there, and we're going to see who's been on the side of good and who's not. There's going to be a delineation and a parting of the waters between the two camps that's going to be much more clear. Okay, next is the hope. What is the hope this month? Well, nice card to have on that. We have a major arcana. This is the Empress, the Queen of the Ocean on this deck. Keyword is abundance. She brings in an element of nurture, care, devotion. She brings a calming energy to maybe a chaotic, stormy type of energy. She can neutralize that and bring in a peace and a comfort. And that's really nice, considering that's on the position of the hope, what brings us hope this month. So we can rely on her energy to bring in a nicer energy than what we've been seeing the last couple of months, and also the last week or so with the rioting and things like that. But also that abundance. She has an ability to bring and to draw in situations and people and circumstances that can further calm and concern and serenity where it's needed. Now, the outcome for June. Oh my goodness. The King of Cups. This is understanding is the keyword. And having him, the mastery of all things that are difficult, volatile, emotional, he brings a sense of mastery and pulling things together that have felt chaotic and disconnected. Look for possible trade negotiations, deals, perhaps new trade deals being made or signed, or something with other nations or groups where perhaps we're going to do some strategic back and forth negotiating. It feels like that we're in a good position to make an offer or to receive an offering. As you can see, he's holding that cup there, the cup of the offering, I like to call it. But this feels really good for being in a good position to be able to offer something in terms of trade or negotiating. You're coming from a good place. You have a good standing, and this is like, let's make a deal. Let's make an offer. Let's work on this deal, this trade, this. We might see some, perhaps with India. I know the president's been wanting to talk with India more, maybe work on trade and stuff with them. That might become a little more open this month. Perhaps more of talking in that regard with types of trade talks. It looks like it's going to be financially beneficial to the United States. I'm focused in on the gold, or just the gold surrounding him makes me feel like it's very beneficial financially and very lucrative. But it's going to benefit us, the United States, the people. And I sense like an eagerness too, with other nations maybe wanting to kind of get in on what this is. I get the sense that, again, I'm probably repeating this, but I want to make this point. It feels like other nations are in the periphery wanting to negotiate, wanting to get involved. Maybe there's a deal of some sort that's being worked out, and there's some people going, ooh, I want in on that. but it feels like it's centered around the United States. So either the United States is making some type of deal. Anyway, there's a lot of energy on it, which is why I'm having a hard time like moving on, because there's a lot of energy there. So anyway, that's in the outcome for this month. So look for something good like that to come through the pipeline. We may see more on that as we go. But man, there's a lot of energy on it. So that's a good thing, I guess. All right. Okay, underneath we have the creativity card. We have a little page of wands. Creativity. So that's a good energy to have underneath this. So let your creative energies flow, and know that there's lots going on. There may be some restriction in the public, but the market and overall things are starting to kind of move in a good direction. So hold on to that. And I think that's it for this reading. So we'll see how June turns out. Looks like overall it's going to be going in a good direction. So, all right, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.